Another rule of exponent I would like for you to look at is, well, actually, before I start, let's say I had given you 3 squared. We know that 3 squared is 3 times 3, which is 9. Same thing if I gave you 10 squared. You should be able to tell me I would have 10 times 10, which is 100. Okay? I know you know how to do this. However, what happens when I have 3 to the negative 2? Well, I still use these same rules, but I can't apply it yet. I have to shift this to my denominator. So I would write it as 1 over 3 squared. That's what this negative exponent tells me. If my exponent is negative, I need to shift it down to the denominator. So I would have 1 over 9. Again, let's say I had 10 to the negative 2. This negative exponent tells me I need to rewrite it like I did up here as 1 over 10 squared. And still applying these rules I did up here, 10 squared gave me 100. It's just now in the denominator, 1 over 100. And same thing would happen if, let's say I gave you 5 to the negative 3. Okay, I know, whoa, big number, okay, but don't get scared, still the same thing. It tells me I have a negative in my exponent. I need to shift it down 1 over 5 cubed, which is 1 over, and if we multiply this out, 5 times 5 is 25, and 25 times 5 would give me 125. Okay, so again, all this is telling me is I have a negative exponent, I need to shift it down. So a rule for this would be anytime I have a base with a negative exponent, and I kind of don't like the way I wrote that. So anytime I had a base x to the negative a, it becomes 1 over x to the positive a. However, what we need to look at is what happens vice versa. If I had, let's say I had 1 over x to the negative a. These are different. Same with this, it's different. This was x to the a where my exponent was positive in the denominator, but now my x has a negative exponent in the denominator. So think to yourself, what do you think is going to happen right now? And at this moment, we should all be thinking, well, if I had to shift a negative exponent like this down to make it positive, then if it's negative in the denominator, I'm going to need to shift it up. So this would become x to the positive a. So example of this would be, let's say I had 1 over 4 to the negative 2. Again, using my rule, I need to bring my exponent up and make it positive. So 4 squared, which is 16. And if I had 1 over, I don't know, any number to the negative, that was a 5, but it got really small. So x to the negative 5th, again, using my rule, all I need to do is bring this up and write it with a positive exponent.